My name is Aaron, and my partner is Haley. This is our West Virginia Healthcare IT Conference project.
The purpose of this project is to successfully organize and facilitate a conference for professionals in the healthcare IT industry. This conference will be an opportunity and will provide a platform where attendees can hold discussions, education can be given, and ideas can be exchanged with participants while networking with each other. The conference will take place exactly 1 year after project planning begins and will remain under the $500,000 budget. There are 5 goals that we will strive to achieve in the completion of this project. The first goal is to recoup 10% of the total budget, which would equate to roughly $50,000 from advanced ticket sales by the conference registration deadline. This goal will be measured through data collection from online ticket sales. Marketing, such as social media engagement, will aid in making this goal attainable. The relevance or importance of the goal will assist in keeping our cash flow and budget on track. The second goal is to secure a minimum of 50 virtual attendees and 75 in-person attendees by the early bird registration deadline. Would this mean the first year of hopefully many more conferences? We understand that being a new conference and not established will not elicit a high attendee registration rate early on. Therefore, our early bird deadline goal reflects relatively lower numbers than we would expect to have the day of conference. We will utilize the same ticket sales tracking data as we would for goal number 1. Goal number 3 is to secure 5 companies to provide sponsorship of the conference. This sponsorship will help fund the dinner event and meet and greet network sessions, as well as any prize opportunities. Letters of intent of sponsorship from 5 companies will be obtained by 60 days before the conference date at the absolute latest. The fourth goal is for after the conference, in which attendees can choose to participate in a voluntary survey regarding their experience of the conference. The goal is 2 parts, the first being achieving an 80% participation rate of survey completion, and the second being obtaining a 90% positive feedback score based on the survey results. This feedback will be very helpful for future conferences and understanding what the attendees thought of the conference and areas that can be improved. The 5th and final goal is to secure 3 featured speakers by month 3 of planning. Having 3 featured speakers committed early on will ensure the agenda and presentation topics are secure in plenty of time. In order to successfully complete the project, i.e., successfully completing the conference, we need to have some basic requirements. First and foremost, we need to have a venue, a place where we can hold the conference itself for on-site attendees. In this venue, we're going to have tables and chairs for basic seating. We need to have audio and visual equipment such as speakers, screens, microphones, HDMI cords, projectors, etc. We need to have cameras and a streaming platform or internet service, as our conference will have a virtual component as well for attendees who are not able to visit the great state of West Virginia in person. We need to have food and beverages throughout the day, lodging, or at least an agreement with a nearby hotel or motel to accommodate our attendees that are coming from out of state or farther areas in West Virginia. We need to have support staff, such as wait staff, directors, someone that can direct attendees on where to go. That staff needs to be available. We need to have speakers and MCs that can do introductions and segues into different areas of our agenda, And we also need signage or promotional material. Our next slide will talk about assumptions. Assumptions in project management are defined as factors that are believed to be true or certain, although their certainty cannot be fully confirmed. So with our project, we have 3 assumptions of this healthcare IT conference. The first assumption is the majority, if not all, conference attendees will possess a basic knowledge of the healthcare IT industry. This may be in various degrees, with some attendees being new to their career, perhaps students, while others may be more seasoned in the industry. Either way, we assume that all attendees have a basic knowledge of this field. Another assumption is that networking opportunities are important to the attendees. Regardless if they are on site or participating virtually, we want to make sure that we offer networking opportunities to all participants who are interested. And our last assumption is that grander social media presence and marketing will result in higher attendance and engagement rates. As mentioned in the previous slide, this is a newer conference, and so we are going to be relying on a lot of marketing and word of mouth in order to raise awareness and elicit attendees to come to the conference, either on-site or virtually. And in this day and age, social media is vital in accomplishing this. As with any project, we know there's going to be constraints or limitations in order to successfully complete the project. There's 3 major constraints that we have in hosting a healthcare IT conference: scheduling and timing, scope, and cost. The scheduler time is referring to the amount of time in the conference. The conference is scheduled to be 1 day, and in order to successfully accomplish a 1-day conference, there is a year of planning that needs to be involved. In that year of planning, with a very strict deadline of when the conference, or the date the conference will be held, we need to ensure that all tasks are completed in a timely manner and according to schedule. On top of this time constraint, we also need to make sure that our agenda for the day of the conference is full and flows well. The second constraint is cost. We know our budget is $500,000, and we need to ensure that we remain within that budget. We can factor in additional costs that we will receive, that reimbursement back for participant and attendee registration, as attendees will pay a fee upon registering. However, we need to be mindful to not go over budget. In the scope is a constraint because we need to ensure that the information and sessions and topics of presentations that are provided during the conference pertain to the industry. We want the attendees of the conference to take something away or gain something from attending this conference. So we need to ensure that our speakers are well versed in the topics they are presenting on. When it comes to planning any event, we can hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. There are 4 major risks that we can be mindful of in terms of jeopardizing the completion of this project. The first risk is technical issues. To combat this risk, we can have backup equipment on standby. We can make sure that the equipment and the streaming service is working well prior to the conference date by doing testing days, if not weeks, in advance to ensure there aren't any hiccups that jeopardize the successful completion of the project the day of. Another risk is lack of interest in recruiting speakers. What do we do if we can't fill the agenda completely? We can substitute speakers with additional educational sessions, such as perhaps a question and answer segment or a panel discussion with multiple speakers instead of focusing or honing in on one key speaker instead. Having the agenda in advance will help figure out where we need to fill in gaps with speakers. Inclement weather preventing travel is always a risk in any event. So offering things like last minute changes from in-person registration to virtual registration is an option. Even issuing refunds in the event of inclement weather or natural disaster that would prevent flights or make traveling vehicle transport challenging. And the last risk is budget overages. One way to combat this is keeping a very strict budget. And one mechanism to do that is to compartmentalize and organize budget into various categories instead of one lump sum of money, categorizing it into different subsections and allocating funds to each subsection based on need will help ensure that we are not going over in any area. Because if we're not going over in any small subsection, we're not going to go over collectively.
Potential organizations interested in attending. This conference aims to attract a wide array of organizations that play key roles in healthcare information technology, both within West Virginia and beyond. For example, the West Virginia Health Information Network, as the state's designated health information exchange, will bring valuable insights into statewide data exchange initiatives. Organizations like the American Health Information Management Association, a leader in HIIM best practices, and HIMSS, which focuses on advancing healthcare through technology, are natural partners for an event of this scale. Additionally, major healthcare providers such as WVU Medicine and Marshall Health represent institutions that are already making strides in integrating IT into clinical workflows. On the vendor side, companies like Cerner Corporation, the American Academy of Professional Coders, and Epic Systems Corporation, developers of leading electronic health record platforms and coding, can offer cutting-edge perspectives on interoperability and usability challenges. We've also included governmental and community health entities such as the WVU Department of Health and Human Resources and Community Care of West Virginia to ensure diverse representation and discussion of rural and underserved healthcare IT needs. Collectively, these organizations align with the goal of fostering collaboration and innovation in healthcare IT. "90-day planning schedule. Our planning schedule is carefully designed to ensure that every detail of the conference is executed flawlessly. Starting 90 days before the event, our team will focus on forming subcommittees to handle key aspects like logistics, speaker coordination, and marketing. We will also secure the venue, finalize the date, and launch the conference website to begin building momentum. By the 60-day mark, we'll confirm the participation of our speakers and panelists, ensuring that the agenda is populated with industry leaders. Marketing campaigns will also go live at this point, leveraging social media, email, and other platforms to maximize outreach. Attendee registration will open with an emphasis on capturing early registrations. As we approach the final 30 days, the focus will shift to logistical details such as finalizing the agenda, preparing attendee materials, coordinating travel and accommodations for speakers. The final week will involve rigorous testing of all technical equipment at the venue, sending out reminders to participants, and final checks to ensure the readiness of all conference materials. This structured timeline allows our team to stay on track and deliver our exceptional event. Summary budget. The budget for this conference is structured to ensure a high quality experience while staying well within the $500,000 limit. Major expenses include venue rental, estimated at $50,000, and speaker fees, where we've allocated $5,000 per speaker for a total of $50,000. Additionally, $15,000 has been set aside for speaker travel and accommodations, catering, which will include meals and snacks for approximately 300 attendees, will cost around $30,000, while an evening entertainment event is budgeted at $20,000 to ensure a memorable networking experience. Marketing and promotional efforts will require $15,000, and audiovisual equipment rentals will cost $10,000. Materials such as badges, programs, and giveaways are estimated at $10,000, with an additional $10,000 for miscellaneous expenses like insurance and permits. On the revenue side, we anticipate generating $60,000 from registration fees, assuming 300 attendees at $200 apiece. Furthermore, sponsorships from 5 key industry partners at $50,000 each will bring in $250,000. This results in total revenue of $310,000, leaving a remaining budget of $100,000 for contingencies or additional enhancements. One-day agenda. The agenda for the conference has been meticulously crafted to ensure a day filled with engaging and informative sessions. The event will start at 8 a.m. with registration and networking, providing attendees with an opportunity to connect before the day begins. At 9 a.m., the Governor of West Virginia will deliver opening remarks, setting the stage for the day's discussion. The keynote address, starting at 9:30 a.m., will feature Dr. Karen DeSalvo from Google Health, who will discuss the future of healthcare IT and its transformative potential. Following a short break, a panel discussion on telemedicine in the post-pandemic era will feature industry leaders like Eric Topol. After lunch and networking at noon, attendees will participate in an interactive workshop on interoperability in EHR systems, led by Judy Faulkner, CEO of Epic Systems. The afternoon sessions will include a compelling case study from WVU Medicine on rural health IT success stories, and close with a keynote by Dr. Fei Li of Stanford University, who will explore the role of AI in healthcare IT. At 6:00 p.m., the day will conclude with a networking dinner featuring live music by a local West Virginia band, providing a relaxed environment to foster connections and celebrate the day's accomplishments. This is our flyer that we are using to advertise the conference. The event is titled West Virginia Healthcare IT Conference 2025. Our slogan is Shaping the Future of Healthcare Technology. The conference will be held on March 20, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Charleston Civic Center. The link to register is at the bottom of the flyer, www.wvhealthitconference.com. This concludes our project. Thank you.